Hi, everybody.
Oh, всем привет. Hello, everybody.
Okay, we are at class 10.
Class 10.
Congratulations.
Almost finished. We're going to do a review class, though, right?
Yeah, we will do a review class for ACI 3 also.
Yeah. So it's not the last class, but it's the last class with new material.
And with Master Shantideva.
Mm-hmm.
And we promised to speak slowly.
Mm-hmm. We promised to break our promise. Mm-hmm.
So let's start. Close your eyes and think about your life right now. What does it look like? And think about the goal of your life. What do you try to accomplish actually? And dedicate this class to reach this goal. Ask blessings from Master Dharmakirti and the whole lineage of teachers to help you to understand the class, the course, all ACI courses, and reach your goal. Decide that you will use this knowledge to help everybody who suffers. And if these teachings are true, then you will create a beautiful world where everybody is happy. There is no suffering. And this is your pay for this class. And it should work because everything that you do, that you think and you say, create seeds. And there will be a point in your life when you will see the results. Go back to your breathing, open your eyes. Are you ready for this?
Are you ready? Yeah. Taylor Swift.
Okay. Class 10. So where we are, my love?
The proof of future lives. This is one of the, excuse me, I'm going to adjust this slightly. There we go. The whole world just shifted on people. So the question is your mind, is your consciousness a function of your physical body, or is it its own thing, is its own separate thing?
Because, why it is important?
Yeah, because if it's, well, I mean, all of this stuff is ultimately to figure out how to be happy, right? And free of suffering. But then what does it mean to be human? And what does it mean to be conscious, right? And if your consciousness is a byproduct of something physical, and then it will end when the body ends. And so then, there's no consequences for your current actions in the next life or after this body's done. And there's no potential for something to be better, right? After this, it's just over. Your consciousness in that worldview is an accident of the physical world. And it's one of the great misconceptions in our culture. I mean, people just assume that your brain is somehow a random collection of.
That was my constant struggle in my medical university, because I was good with everything, to be honest. Like, anatomy is great. Everything is like visible, tangible, you can, we had corpse, that we could, sorry, but this is medical study when I was going through it, but we had corpse, like we had tables at the chair of anatomy. In every room there was a corpse, and we were dissecting corpse to study anatomy for 1 year, every day, or almost every day. And then you can see that what they are talking about is true, because you read it in the book. So in the chest there are such and such things, like vessels, they go this way, then they go this way, and then you dissect it, you open it, true.
Facts. I mean,
it's a fact.
Yeah.
The checked fact. Then other things in medical science are not as tangible. I mean, forget about emotions or like psychological stuff. Like when you even get to neuroscience, it starts to be a little bit like you're not really sure if this is true or not. And then how they explain dreams or memory, and then they are very happy. They say like, oh, we have a memory RNA. This is how we found the physical stuff that
well, no, actually, they haven't found the physical stuff. It's not like that's one of the big flaws in modern science, is that they've looked for a place where a memory is stored, and they can show that it's associated with actions in the brain, but the memory isn't located in a physical place. There's no specific pattern that gets repeated. There's no specific place where a memory gets stored. And we're not going to go into that, there's other problems with it. The idea that a memory could be stored in your brain, in the physical matter of your brain, well, then how do you access it, right? Like, where's the directory of, like, how does your consciousness know to go to that spot to pull the memory out? You'd have to have some kind of directory, right? Like, oh, the memory of, my grocery list is here. But then how do you know where that memory is? There's real problems with it. And they're not honest about their inability to find it.
Okay, this I would argue with you, because I was thinking a lot, because some of them are not honest.
Some of them, okay, yeah. That's fair enough. It's the majority of the scientists are
honest.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, it's a problem.
It depends on your seeds, okay?
I would read my well, they will say that they can't find a memory in the brain, but then they'd say, but we will. We're sure we will. Yeah. We just give us 10 years, and then there have been anyway, we can move on from that.
Yeah, we can move on from that. I wanted just you to have an impression that when you study medicine, like everything looks like really logical and self-explanatory. I mean, bones are bones, right? Vessels are vessels, and like this is the body. Even biochemistry is more or less cool until you get to the consciousness. And once you touch consciousness, it's all like, like you try to walk in your dream, like it's almost same feeling. And it's all vague and it's all foggy. And this is the assumption and no facts.
My son,
practically no facts.
And I know I've said this before, but my son, when he was studying neuroscience as an undergraduate, he would send me papers that he was reading, and scientists writing the papers, the neuroscientists, would just assume that the consciousness is being produced by the brain. And you'd read a line and like, well, they weren't being true to their own scientific knowledge. So
and it goes actually beyond that, right? Because they have bias because of what they were taught. So here, Master Dharmakirti, he actually tries to prove to us, to himself, maybe, we don't know, definitely to us, to people from other traditions, that you can actually walk this path and be successful, that you can reach Buddhahood, Nirvana, all this stuff, right?
Yeah, it's critical that, the idea that your consciousness is going to continue on means that you have to be careful about it. And it's also hand in hand with cause and effect and emptiness, right? It's like, well, then what is my consciousness? So we looked at 10 different proofs. Well, there were 10, correct? We looked at 10 different proofs. Things like, is your consciousness the senses? Are they the same as the senses? And other proofs like that. And one of the things that we left off at was what's the cause for the next life? And the last one. And so it was, well, read through the proof here. There's a formal proof for it.
Wait. Today we're adults and we
have slides.
We share our own slides. So wait a moment. I will find it. Ooh, I managed. I think I did. Victory.
All right. There we go, up there. This is for people taking notes, the answer to the question is everybody should get 100 and prove that you're conscious. This is Master Dharmakirti's main proof for future lives, right? Consider the mind of a normal person at the moment of death. That mind will cross the line into a future mind because that mind possesses desire.
Which does not explain anything,
no,
right?
It's horrible. I think if you were trying to give that proof to a group of academics, half of them would stop listening and walk out. The other half would just pretend to keep listening and sit in their chair and it doesn't really, it's not satisfying, right?
If you do not understand what it means, right?
Yeah, without some background information. Because what desire, right? Like, well, like I desire food, sleep,
Did it give me one more life already, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, so it's hard, like raw desire, like general desire, the way that we think of it is hardly a proof of.
It's not about it. This is the trick here.
And so then what is it about? It's something, it's something, it's very specific, and it's coming from the Wheel of Life. Do you have an image of the Wheel of Life?
You can continue talking and I'll find it.
So You've seen it if you walked into a Dharma center, because it's supposed to be posted at the front of any monastery, the Wheel of Life. And just briefly, there's a whole course that we can go through on the Wheel of Life. I think it has 6 classes, and each class, it's really, it's a great course. We should do it sometime. But just briefly for our purposes, we'll just introduce it. And so what you've got is, are you sharing your screen with the people yet?
Not yet. I'm still struggling. Soon.
Okay, so what happened with the Wheel of Life while we're waiting for the image to come up is that 2,500 years ago, 2 kings were exchanging gifts, and finally one king had been outdone, and he was embarrassed that he didn't have a better gift to give. And so he went to Lord Buddha, who was alive at the time, 500 BC. And King Udayana asked Lord Buddha, for something to give the person as a gift. And so, is that bar going to be blocking
No.
the image? Okay. And so he comes up, and so Lord Buddha gives the artist the instructions for how to draw the Wheel of Life, which is what hopefully you're seeing up there now. And what you've got at the top, you see the big monster that's biting it. That's Yama. That's the Lord of Death. And that's not a literal demon. I do think that there are demons. That's not a literal one. That's not like, the evil equivalent of a worldly god or something like that. It's just a representation of death, because everything that's in his grasp is subject to death. And at the center, just quickly, you have a pig, which represents ignorance, and a rooster, which is desire, jealousy, and a snake, which is anger. And that's kind of the root of all of our problems. And then going around that, skipping over, there's people going up and down in the next circle out. And then around that are the 6 realms, starting with hell realms, and then the hungry ghost, animal realms, humans, demigods, and gods. Each one of those is depicted in one of the 6 sections that goes around. And then you get to the part that we're interested in for today's conversation, which are the 12 links that go around. Those 12 links as they go around. That's how you end up cycling around in samsara. Each step represents an action that you're taking that's producing your future lives. It's how you're stuck here in samsara, and it's why you're stuck dying, because that's all in the clutches of Yama. Oh, do they not see it?
Do you see it or not?
Yeah, would somebody write in the chat if you're seeing it?
That's strange if they don't.
Oh, that would be a bummer if you. Oh, okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, great. So can we go to the PowerPoint?
Sure. Yeah. Uh-huh. You can continue, Mama.
So the links that Master Dharmakirti is specifically talking about are links 8 and 9 here in the Wheel of Life that Lord Buddha gave. And those two links are Have you got it?
You want
The PowerPoint, yeah. The PowerPoint with the
this one?
no, the PowerPoint with the Wheel of Life that was on it that we downloaded.
It was the same.
No, it had each individual link. There you go. That's it. So, and then go to the next frames. Okay, so that's we can I'm not going to explain everything that's here.
Which one do you want?
That's Yama. Keep going. Okay, so this first link is that's ignorance. That's at the beginning of all of this. That's that the man there with the cane is a blind man, and he represents ignorance. And specifically, that ignorance is the ignorance of grasping to a self, the idea that you as a person, or me as Bill, that somehow I am self-existent, that I'm coming from my own side, that there's something about me that wasn't produced by karma. So that's the first link. And then the second link here is a guy making pots. And so he's producing karma, some kind of action that's going to, and it's always going to be contaminated. Always there's some, because of your wrong idea of a self, you're going to always have some black in any action that you do, black and white deeds, right? Some kind of positive and some kind of negative. And so this is your karma. Then the next 5 links, and because we don't have time to go through the whole course for this purposes.
I can mention, right?
Yeah.
That's monkey representing your mind.
Consciousness.
This is 2 persons. Actually, should be 2. For some reason, there are 3. But should be 2. Your mind and body in the same boat, right?
Yeah, name and form.
Yeah, and this is me getting, my mind getting form this lifetime. And buildings with windows, it's for our sense powers or for sense organs.
Yeah,
doors of sense.
The doors of sense, right? Like your eye, ear, nose, tongue.
All of
touch.
that. All these links are suffering links, because what we see with these doors of senses and what we think with our mind is incorrect, and our body has to stop.
Yeah, it's all contaminated with some kind of ignorance about where it's coming from.
And contact.
Contact. And so this is
man and woman
lying together. And all of these 5 things are under the category of suffering. So the first one, so there's this cycle. Ignorance is a negative thought. And then because of that ignorance, you're creating some kind of fresh karma. And so that's karma, right? And then you suffer from the karma. And so these 5 links were all suffering.
And this one too. It's difficult to see, but it's actually the most horrifying out of all the 12 links to see, because it's a man with an arrow in his eye. Yeah. So
feeling is the term that Geshe has translated it as. And then
stained feelings. Incorrect feelings.
Okay, and so this is the first link of desire. So you're suffering, and then because you're suffering, you have a desire, right? Like, I'm hungry. I'm suffering from hunger. Therefore, I want food. And here, a lady is pouring a man wine. And this, initially, Geshe called it craving. In later translations, he called it
desire.
Initial desire, to kind of give you an idea. I think it's a little more clearer than craving, but initial desire. And so this is under the category of a negative thought, right?
Mhm.
And we'll discuss why it's a negative thought in a second. And then click through to the next one. This one's strong desire. This is a person that's grabbing fruit.
Or a monkey could be on other images
Yeah.
That is reaching out to get the fruit.
Some of them. And so this is strong desire. And then this is sometimes it's a pregnant woman.
Yeah, that's strange because usually link 10 is just a pregnant lady.
Yeah.
I can show later. Here.
Is that got the pregnant lady in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually it's a pregnant lady. So this was, for some reason, Geshe has the man and the woman lying together there. Again, I guess it was a theme that week when he did it. So this is ripe karma. This is the karma that's going to project you into your next life.
Mm-hmm. It's becoming or existence, this link also.
And then this is a lady giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is aging and death.
Yeah, which is represented by sky funerals here, right?
Yeah, you've probably heard of the Tibetan tradition of sky funerals. I think if you were somebody important, they would do that for you. Apparently, like if you weren't important, they would just tie your body up and throw it over a cliff.
Yeah, but this is...
If you were important, they would take your body, hack it into pieces, and let the vultures eat it. And there would be something of a ceremony. So that's for the important people. It's called a sky funeral.
For big lamas, they would burn the body.
Yeah. But yeah, they would just let the birds eat it. So that's what's happening there. And then this leads back to the beginning again. So that's one of the realms there.
Yeah,
that's a god realm.
Let's go just through the realms.
So well, it's important. So after aging and death, the link with the funeral, sky funeral, it leads back to ignorance, which was the number one link where we were at before.
Just showing you guys the other...
That's the hell
parts, realm. Hell realm, yeah.
Animal realm.
And half gods.
Let's see. Yeah, the half gods are on the left and the gods are on the top.
That's half gods. The first one was humans, right? And that's the engine.
Yeah, that's the pig is ignorance. That's a rooster, supposed to be a rooster in the center.
Or pigeon can be
a rooster or a pigeon.
Yeah. Desire.
Jealousy.
Or jealousy, yeah. And anger or hatred. Nowadays we do not translate it as desire or how you said?
It's anger.
No.
Oh, ignorant liking and ignorant disliking.
Yeah, we translated for the pigeon or for the rooster, we translated ignorant liking, because if it is when I want something or I want to keep something without understanding how the world functions, that I should give away to get something, right? And the snake is for ignorant dislike. And when I want to get rid of it, for example, I want to kill somebody because I don't like him.
And this is critical too, right? Because you can go back to I think we're done with the slides there.
Yeah.
So there's this cycle that's going on in this wheel of life where you have a negative thought, you create karma, and then there's suffering. Mm-hmm. Then the suffering leads to more negative thoughts. You create karma, and then you suffer. And the desire, it's always it's not. Well, do you want to talk about desire?
No,
I'll keep going. It's not, a Buddha has desire, right? The Buddha wants to see every living being out of suffering. That's, that's okay. It's okay for you to want to be out of suffering. No problem with that, right? there isn't even a problem with like, okay, I'm hungry, I want to eat, right? That's okay. You should enjoy your life. That's there's this misnomer that, this wrong idea that you shouldn't enjoy anything.
And by the way, it is a very important wrong idea because a lot of Buddhist groups were misled by the idea that they should either be miserable, then it's holy. And honestly, not only Buddhist groups, I mean, almost any religion has some kind of followers that think that being miserable is holy.
Yeah, that somehow you're purifying yourself by intentionally inflicting pain on yourself.
We went to India and we were told, because it's very painful to see the conditions sometimes people are in there, and the country is not that poor, and there are many billionaires and millionaires, and even an average person should not actually look like that. And we were talking with some actually with monks, right? And I was asking like they how much do they make? Like, are they really that bad? And they said that even rich people here do not show off because a lot of people are religious. There are a lot of Hindu people, and some Hindu how to say not sects, right? Some Hindu sects or some Hindu followers, they believe that it's bad to be wealthy. So they try to not to show, even they have money, they will still have this worn out shirts and pants, and you will never think that the guy has actually a nice home and the car, which is a sign of huge wealth in India.
Having a car.
Having a car, yeah.
Any car.
Or having your own tuk-tuk, right? Like tuk-tuk.
A tuk-tuk is a rickshaw, an auto, like a rickshaw with an engine.
Three-wheel bike, actually, right?
Yeah, it's like kind of like a moped with two wheels at the back and then this funny little cover on the top. But it's a rickshaw. If you've seen people.
Yeah. And if somebody owns it, so it is wealthy. The guy is wealthy because it's $3,000 in India.
Yeah.
A lot of money for them.
And and it's funny. The engines on them were horrible. Like they belched like all kinds of exhaust and smelled like gas, and they were loud. And if you had to go up any kind of incline at all, it would slow to a crawl.
Yeah, you think maybe we will have to push it at some point.
Yeah, that's how they get around. And we looked and we're like, well, why is this country so poor? And I mean, there's a lot of intelligent people, right? There's 1.5 billion people, and the country has natural resources. It's rich that way.
And a very nice situation, right? Like, I mean, location is nice.
But and they were poor, like people just lining the roads, sitting in the dirt. It was, and then we looked and I think it's partly because there's this idea that to be wealthy, to be happy, there's almost something wrong with it, right?
Not holy.
Yeah, not holy, right? And so
one of the deep insights for me was because I was not born in the culture where wealth is considered to be holy or even more or less good. One of deep insights for me, it was like I have seen with my own eyes that there is no special holiness in being stuck in this horrible poverty. It's not holy, it's horrible.
It's a mistake, right? Like poverty is a mistake. And If you're getting your wealth from stealing or,
It's another mistake.
Yeah, well, it's because ultimately you're not really getting it from stealing. If your stealing is successful, it's only because you were generous in a past life, and you're gonna suffer the consequences of your stealing at some point in the future. So it's ignorant liking and ignorant disliking is the problem with this desire. So the eighth and the ninth link that we're talking about here, initial desire and strong desire. It's liking, liking things is the desire to be in contact with something that you want, and disliking is the desire to not come in contact with something you don't want. And it's when you're willing to hurt somebody or get what you want ignorantly that's the problem. And like, I'm going to steal something, or I'm going to, like, your boss is yelling at you and you don't want to be yelled at, so you yell back, right? You're just going to create more of the same problems.
Let me try to show on this slide because I forgot about it. Can you see the slide? Because for some reason I'm shown that my screen sharing is paused.
Would somebody write in the chat? Oh, y'all see the screen. You see the screen with the
all the screen. Oh, that's strange. So this is not what I'm sharing. Same. That's strange. Okay. Anyway. About now.
Do you see a slide that says link 8 and link 9?
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay, great. So these were the links that we were talking about, craving. And there's
and craving, it is not craving anymore. So it's initial desire, and 9 is advanced desire.
Strong desire.
Strong desire. And so what you need to really remember that it's not that desire is wrong. It's the wrong desire that is wrong. And here it is about something totally different.
And so again, all of the problems are coming because of a lack of understanding of what it means to be you, right? Like, if you think that you're self-existent, if you think that, I have to you have to grab, like, if things are self-existent, right? Like, if
you have to steal to be wealthy,
or you have to grab it, right? Or go out and get it. Like, it's the example Geshe always used was the last maple donut. So you walk into a donut shop and you see that there's one maple donut left. You like maple donuts. And then you hear the little old lady behind you tell her husband, "Oh, great, they've got a maple donut left." And then
you have a bodhisattva battle inside of your brain.
So what are you going to do at that point? Like, if a self-existent me that's going to end when the body ends says, "Well, the hell with it."
That doesn't exist in the first place.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, yeah. I'm just going. Yeah, I'm just going to take the maple donut because I'm going to enjoy it. But a bodhisattva, somebody who understands. Well, you don't even have to be a bodhisattva.
Just a little bit smart.
Yeah, just a little smart, right? that if things are empty, the only way you're going to get a maple donut is to give somebody else a maple donut. You would order the,
especially if they want it so much.
yeah, you'd order the plain donut that you didn't really want. and let the other person have the maple donut. That would be the intelligent way to do it. Because of karma and its increasing effects, well, then you'll get 10 maple donuts in the future, right? But it's the ignorant liking. It's the willingness to take something from somebody else. It's the selfish part, the part that's thinking about yourself. And it can be subtle, right? Even when you're doing some kind of charitable action, there's some part of you that is hoping it will benefit yourself. And it's always contaminated like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so but that's not what's really creating your next life. Mm-hmm. What's creating your next life is, as you're dying, you're grasping on to a me. You have a desire to keep existing. And Geshe earlier had translated intelligent liking and intelligent disliking as craving desire and craving fear. Craving good things and fearing bad things. But now we're talking about, here in the answer key, he called it craving for existence, where because you think that you're self-existent, you're grasping to your body as you die. I was like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. It's a selfish thought, right? And that is the thought, that desire. You're not thinking about helping other people. You're thinking about yourself at the moment, which is natural, right? For a human.
Yeah. So just to summarize, we are still with the link number what?
Well, this right karma. Let's see, strong desire.
8. Yeah, we are 8. With the link number 8, and it can be in 3 forms. Mm-hmm. Craving desire, or nowadays we would not call it craving desire. We would probably say it like wrong desire, right? An emotion that when in ignorant way, I do not to lose an object that I like, or I want to get one, like with something positive. I want to keep something, and I'm willing to be unethical to make it happen. Second is when I do not want something ignorantly, like unpleasant person, people who hurt me, and I am willing to get rid of it ignorantly. I mean, I can do something unethical to avoid some object or to get rid of it. So the first one is do-se. The second one is jig-se. Jig is fear, right? And the one that is really important for us now is the third form of the link 8, which is craving for existence or desire for existence. And this is really deep. I don't know if you had a moment in your life when you were dying. Unless you had this moment, it is very difficult and subtle to understand this link. I had, when I was, I think, 8, I had several moments I was thinking I will die in my life, but the one that was really very bright was when I was 8 and I was drowning in the river, and water started to, I could not really swim, and water started to enter my body through my mouth, and there was a moment when I could feel myself really strongly, like, oh, I'm losing me. Oh, is that it? Is that all my life? And they are talking about this pictures that you have this overview of your life, you know, before you die. And I had it. I was like, "Ooh, that's it? That's too short," you know. And together with this, I had this very um, even like nauseous feeling of me, you know, like I had so much of me that moment, like, oh, I'm ending, I will not continue to exist. And this is this fear and grasping to your own person is what they're talking about here. Sise, like desire for life, you know, for this kind of life.
Yeah.
How you can feel it in a different way?
Like the me?
Secret teaching is coming.
Which one? Which one you're
A
talking
little
about?
bit. I want to be completely honest.
Well, go ahead. Go for it. Be completely honest.
To be completely honest, if you face some kind of injustice, like you think you are helping somebody, and then and somebody hits you, you know, like with some kind of false blame, or like you really did your best, but they say that you didn't work hard or something like that. Sometimes when you feel unjust, it increases this feeling of self-existent me.
You can't do that to me.
I cannot believe it, right?
Yeah.
Americans, they have a phrase, I cannot believe he did it to me, you know?
Yeah, to me.
Yeah, it's, by the way, very difficult to translate to some languages because it doesn't sound natural in other languages. But some kind of equivalent we always have. Or like when you have this intense negative feeling of somebody hurting you, like in the form of shame or guilt, right? Somebody or yourself, you do not feel right somehow, like shame or guilt can also increase this feeling of me. So they say lamas will do it to you, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to face the enemy first to fight.
Yeah. You're basically watching a movie being played, your mind's playing a movie on the blank screen of emptiness based on something you did in the past. But it's very, very hard not to react negatively particularly when your suffering is intense, right?
Even you are taught 25 times that you should not do it, you will still probably do it.
Like, I mean, every day I'm still struggling with it, you know, on some level or another.
Okay, don't discourage people also, okay,
well, you know, I mean, the thing is, you can go a long way intellectually to reducing it. You know, you can make things better, right? But hard to get rid of it entirely. So anyway,
wait, I want to show something. So you can have in different forms the same wheel of life. I want to show you what I got when I was studying addictions, when I was Geshe Michael was teaching addictions course. So you have here, it's all more or less correctly done.
This wheel of life hangs by her desk where she works. So if you see her in her events where she's working at her desk, it's just to the left side of her.
Yeah, because we are supposed to remember where we are, right? And just a quick note on it. You have the only one who is outside is the Buddha himself, and he points out to the moon, which represents actually bodhicitta, right? Love and compassion. And he kind of says that this is the way, this is the only way. Even you understand intellectually how the world functions, even you are a master of emptiness. Without this thing, you will not really do much progress.
This might be helpful. So, okay. So the Buddha is outside of samsara, right? He's outside of this circle of suffering. And then just real quickly, so since I can point to it here, there's ignorance, right? That's your negative thought. Then you create karma. And then you have all of these steps here that are suffering. And then you get to which one?
Huge dinner, guy having huge dinner. Yeah, that's 8.
That's 8, 8 and 9. Okay, so then you're back. So you're suffering. So ignorance, karma, suffering. Ignorance, karma, suffering. Initial desire, strong desire.
This is
and then you create more karma, and then you have birth, and then you have aging, sickness, and death. And then you're back to ignorance again around. So there's this cycle that keeps going with you have a negative thought, then you create karma, then you suffer. Well, you're suffering, so then you have a negative thought, then you create karma, and then you suffer. And it just keeps going around and around. And so it's the wrong desire that's at the link. And the reason why they're focusing on this is that that if you're going to break this cycle, if you're going to get out, the place to do it is to work on your ignorant desire. Like once the karma's or ignorance, right? There's links where it's easier to break it. Like once the arrow's in your eye, it's not so easy to break it, right?
And also the question is like arhats, right, and Buddhas, did they really finish up all their bad karma? No, they didn't. They have seeds, they still have seeds, but they will never ripen because they do not have these guys, 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, that's there's this debate. Do you, after you created the karma, do you have to get the results? And
yes.
Well,
unless
yes, unless, right? The Jains would say that you have to, that once it's created, it has to come back up.
Yeah. Jainists.
It's an Indian religion. The Buddhists are going to say no, that they're a debt that you'll never have to repay. You're busy creating this stuff, all this suffering, but you can just get out if you have the direct perception of emptiness. And then once you've had the direct perception,
and this,
yeah, and the bodhicitta, right? Yeah, both of them. And once you're an Arya, you're not creating karma anymore. According to Geshe in this class, he said it. Like you don't create karma anymore once you're in. Yeah, I know you're looking a little puzzled. And so he said quite clearly that you don't. I wrote it down. It was at minute 55. So argue with him if you don't believe me. So that's the 8th link. So this is why Master Dharmakirti is saying that desire is the cause for your future life. It's not just some random thing he said. There was a reason for it. What else do you have, Paolo?
I think we have the most important thing.
So, okay, yeah. Yep.
Okay. So we were talking about how this craving triggers your existing karma at the moment of death. So how actually do we focus upon ourselves, right? And there are 4 possibilities depending on a type of being. First, focusing on yourself, or we call it me. By the way, in English, it is easier. It is.
Excuse me.
of disturbing other people. Anyway, so there are 4 types how you can focus upon yourself when you die. First one, and in English, it's easier to explain it because there are 2 different words for I. It's self and I or me. And self has a connotation of grasping to yourself, right? Like kind of my own me, right?
Well, if you're
me
saying
own or something.
I'm selfish. If you're selfish, then you're focused on yourself in a way that's negative and unpleasant.
Yeah.
Like that was a selfish thing to do.
So if you say in English I, then it basically means functional thing. If you say myself, you kind of exaggerate me, myself, my own me, something like that, right? So first possibility is very neutral when you focus upon yourself or your me in a general way without checking or examining your true nature. Nothing wrong with this. Buddhas are focusing upon themselves or other Buddhas in this way. It does not trigger this karma.
Yeah, it's okay. You are experiencing what you're experiencing. You do. There is a Bill McMichael. I do live in Evanston.
You perceive yourself. Okay, let's say this way. You perceive you and parts of you with understanding where it comes from, or without really checking.
Yeah, it's just that we don't exist the way we think we do. That it seems like I'm here because of outside physical objects that somehow gathered together and claimed an identity. It doesn't look like we're here because of karma. It doesn't look like we're here because of emptiness. It seems like there's a self-existent me. It seems like there is a me that's attached to this body that anyway, that won't continue on. It's why the scientists think our consciousness is produced by our body, because it looks like it's self-existent.
Oh, that's actually a point I wanted to make, that in the same way in medicine, they never question the basis, right? That things exist outside of ourselves.
Yeah.
Or in neuroscience, this is why they make all the mistakes, because they never question that mind is a function of the brain, right? They never question it. This is why they cannot get to correct conclusions, because the data that it is based on is wrong.
But it's okay to say that I exist. Bill McMichael exists. Ina exists. You exist. It's just not in the way that you think you do, which gets us to the second way.
Yeah. Second one is the one that we all have.
Yeah.
Unless you are an enlightened being or maybe some very high bodhisattva.
Well, an Arya.
Or an Arya,
an Arya, Arhat, or a Bodhi, or a Buddha.
So a normal human being, they call children Chipa, right? In Tibetan. Yeah, a being that did not see emptiness directly yet. We think about ourselves as existing on its own, self-existing, coming from our own side. So
at this level, you see yourself as self-existent and you believe it. Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Out of 4 possibilities, you see yourself as self-existing. but do not believe what you see because you have seen emptiness directly.
Mm-hmm.
So if this person dies without overcoming this inborn habit, I mean, what does it mean inborn? Nobody has to teach you that you are self-existent. The seed opens and you have this perception, even nobody taught you anything. I don't know, you were completely wild somewhere. I mean, all the animals, they have this perception of self-existent things, right? So the karma will still be triggered. And this is why a person does not stop rebirth just by being an Arya or just after the direct perception of emptiness, because even Aryas, they have this problem.
Yeah, they'll talk about people with different levels of different numbers of lives to come back to. So you'll have the direct perception of emptiness, and then, are you a once returner? Are you a foe destroyer? Are you a solitary realizer? Are you, is it going to take you 7 lifetimes to come back, 21 lifetimes before you get enlightened? And it's because they've had the direct perception of emptiness, like Ina said, but they don't believe that they're self-existent, but they're still seeing themselves that way. They still have the past mental seeds that they have to overcome, to the last of their ignorance that they still have to get rid of before they stop seeing themselves as self-existent. So.
And the last one, you probably can guess, right? You do not see it this way, and you do not believe it anymore.
What's interesting is that if you're at the eighth bhumi, the eighth bodhisattva level, you've reached a level of meditation where you can see samsara and emptiness at the same time. We talked about that, I believe, in course 2. And Geshe mentions it here in this course also. So those people, you're not fully enlightened. I mean, you're dang close, right? But there is a level before being a full Buddha where you don't see yourself as self-existent, and you don't believe it, but you're still not a full Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's it for the class.
That's it. But in conclusion, what do you have to say in conclusion?
In conclusion, the course 4 is so great for me for a couple of reasons. One of them is first, you never think like, how can I prove that Buddhahood exists, that I really can trust this path, right? And this is the first course where you have the first grasp, okay, the material cause, right? Yeah, it's true that something, there's nothing that comes from nothing, right? There is even a song about it, right?
Yeah.
By a non-Buddhist.
Yeah.
And
nothing comes from nothing. So you got to have something if you want to be with me.
Yeah, that's the song.
That's it. It's not Dharma. It was from the 70s.
Yeah.
Don't know.
So basically, it was for the first time when I felt, oh, that actually the material cause is a big deal. It actually, I cannot ignore it. I can see that everything comes from something that turns into something, right? Be careful, because this explanation is not the highest. This explanation is for mainly non-Buddhists or like Lao Buddhists schools. And this does not mean we talk about mental seeds here. It's not about projections, right? Come on. There is no material cause in the highest teachings, right? Like, everything comes from seeds, from nothing else. There is no acorn that turns into a oak tree without my seeds for it, right? To see the acorn and then to see a tree. It is completely impossible for an acorn to become an oak tree because there is no transition. There will be a period when something does not exist and something else is not yet there, and they cannot touch, never touch.
Yeah, that's Nagarjuna's reasoning.
Yeah, but that was a very important technical trick to trick me into believing that, oh, actually, maybe it's not what I think. The reality is not what I think. So, and second thing is that with the time, these proofs make more reason to you.
Yeah, it was really rewarding to go back through the class for me, particularly the idea that the mind is being produced by mental karma, right? That kind of shook me because I had started to think of the mind as kind of its own self-existent thing, right?
Because you are reading what recently?
Yeah.
So be careful. You may also, when you study some courses and you forget that they are all about different levels of understanding, you may start thinking, start believing what they say. For example, you may start sticking to material cause, right? And this is the logic school, which is not the highest, but the trick is useful, right?
Yeah, I was still this morning. I was back wrestling with. I'm on my third read of
The Golden Key.
The Golden Key, which if you're interested in these things, these mixed nuts books are just a real treasure. I mean, they're really fantastic.
We have collected all the books this year. Because we donate as much as we can, which is $500 a month.
Yeah.
And we got all the books this year.
So they're really extraordinary.
Yeah. So by the way, subscribe to the Good Night Book Club, okay? Because this is how you make more time in your life.
Yeah. So I mean, 2 points I would take. When somebody like Master Dharmakirti says that you're projected into your next life by desire, he's not just a fool, right?
No.
There's a reason why they say these things. And it may not be obvious initially, right? So don't give up. If you hear something that doesn't seem to make sense, there will probably be an explanation coming later. And the other thing too is we get into all of this philosophy, and it's wonderful. It's great for understanding. And it helps change your behavior, right? Like if you understand cause and effect a little better, you'll become a nicer person. But the whole point of this is just to be
happy.
And you're going to be happy by
helping other people,
being kind, right? Like it's just that simple. So you can do all the philosophy, but you want to be happy, be nice. You want to be unhappy? Don't be nice.
Be grumpy.
Be grumpy.
And one more thing that I wanted to say that was not clear to me when I was first doing this course. Actually, there were plenty of things that were not clear to me when I have done this course for the first time. But one of the things that is important is, for some reason, I was thinking that, when I will be dying, I will be smart, I will not grasp to this life. I will let it go, just die in process, and I will go the, how they call it, the mystic path of the Buddhas, you know, like there is a way to escape the next samsaric life. There are some practices which Geshe Michael says extremely difficult to practice when everything falls apart and you are in your greatest sphere of your life.
If you get to the advanced courses, they'll cover POA a little bit, which is how you transfer your consciousness at death.
And it's absolutely impossible to do it unless you have done all ACI courses, secret teachings, and practice every single day.
We didn't spend much time on it. Yeah, it's just I frankly, it's probably easier just to go ahead and have the direct perception of emptiness.
So how you do it, how you do not grasp to yourself, it's not by thinking, oh, I don't need another lifetime. It's not about it. You are projecting yourself into your next life because you still see yourself as self-existing. That's it. And to change it, you need to see emptiness directly.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Well said. And you don't want to exist self-existently. If you existed self-existently, you wouldn't be able to reach Buddhahood. You wouldn't be able to get yourself and every living being out of suffering. So
if you are grateful to us, which we hope you do, instead of final prayers, I will say something. We do not need money from you, but ACI do need. Please donate something to ACI. The best is to subscribe to 30. If you can, then you can donate $30 a month. And also we support the Good Night Book Club. In different countries, we have different options. Like in poor countries, you can donate just $10 and you will get some books to thank you for your participation in the club, your subscription. It's not that we exchange your money to your books. It's just the gratitude of the Good Night Book Club. You can come to Mixed Nuts classes, which are called Shreds and Tower classes now for free. And if you really want to go deep, and if you want to become teachers in the future and you do not go to Mixed Nuts classes, you're crazy, because you will never be a good teacher, ACI, DCI, YSI, whatever you teach. You will never be a good teacher if you do not go to Shreds and Tower classes with Geshe Michael.
Oh, there's probably other ways, but
no, Geshe Michael said it. Yeah. Sometimes you can disagree with your lamas.
Yeah, I was thinking of how do you pronounce his name? Anguili Mala, who killed 1,000 people and got enlightened.
Not because he killed 1,000 people.
No. Despite the fact that he killed 1,000 people, he got enlightened. So you can kill 1,000 people and get enlightened, but you can't miss
theoretically.
But you can't miss Swanson Tower. It's a joke, my love.
So to summarize, Mixed Nuts classes or Shreds Tower classes, nowadays we call them Diamond Cutter Classics classes. They give you something that is visible, tangible. I mean, you listen to them. They do not make much sense in the beginning, but something else happens on different levels, and you get smarter. That's true.
Do your homeworks. Homeworks are a absolute requirement.
Yeah, if you ever want to go to secret teachings, nobody will accept you as a student, even you are nice and volunteering everywhere if you didn't do your homeworks.
And you don't want to study with somebody who would accept you if you didn't do them.
True and real.
Yep.
And we want to thank every single volunteer. We are very grateful for you, because without you, our classes would not be possible. It looks like Ina and Bill are working, but actually a huge team is working to put these classes together and to translate them. Thank you, translators.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, organizers. Thank you, technical team. You are amazing. Please stay with us. Please do not also overwork, because otherwise you will burn out, and we do not want to lose you. Please ask for help when you need help. Okay, it's okay. It's good to ask for help timely, because that's already a bad habit that main coordinators, they help so much, then they are too tired and burn out.
What do we have? We have Bulgarian, English, of course, Spanish, Russian, Ukrainian, Italian,
French,
pretty good.
some other languages, Turkish.
Is Turkish in there? Oh, Turkish. Great.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And we have a short video for you. Artyom, you ready?
No, I didn't.
Thank you, everybody. And next ACI course is actually soon. On the 17th of January, we do an open class about the logic of a miracle.
When are we going to do the review
How
course?
to create everything out of nothing.
Everything out of nothing.
Yeah, the logic of the miracle. And on the 18th, we start classes every Saturday and Sunday. And we will do the review courses somewhere in the middle of the week, because it's quite difficult to schedule now on the weekends. So
we're thinking of miracles. I mean, this is a side note, but I'll share it with people.
side note.
So in the Abhidharma Kosha, this was one of the little pearls that Geshe dropped in the class that, I heard it 20 years ago, but it kind of came and went. But it's the seventh chapter of the Abhidharma Kosha, where the Sefer Ki Tingninzen, a type of meditation you need in order to be able to walk on water or put your hand in fire and not get burned. So there's a level of meditation that you can get to, and it's described. Frankly, how people can walk on water in the seventh chapter of the Abhidharma Kosha.
So if you want to walk on the water, so you just need two things, very simple: good level of meditation and seeds.
Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary, right? It's there. So.
And then somebody will come and teach you how to make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So see you soon. Thank you very much, everybody. Please stay. We need volunteers, by the way. If you are not a volunteer and you want to help, this is probably the best thing you can do. This is what I have done once I joined ACI courses. Thank you. See you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good weekend.